So a few days ago, Trade to Mastery asked me this question. Hi James, if you have time, can you make a video about your trading journey when it all first began, the lessons you've learned along the way, and the people who inspired your current trading style? Thanks. So I did prepare a little, what's it called? A little PowerPoint presentation going over the points just to remind me as I dictated on a video. So we'll do that now and go through my trading journey from the beginning to the current day. So here it is, my trading journey, how I caught the trading bug. Now it all began in, if this thing will work, it all began in King Eddie's in London, 2006. I had just joined a new job. Now, bearing in mind my vocation, original job or lifelong passion stroke job is a chef. I'm a qualified chef, and I just joined this gastropub named the King Eddie's. For those who are American or not based in the UK, a gastropub is like an upmarket pub where they serve not your typical pub food, but restaurant standard food, sometimes even 4 or 5-star food. And King Eddie's in London is a great time, a great memory of mine. Spent about a year there, and I was a sous chef, and my head chef was a guy, I don't think he'll mind if I share with my small audience, a guy named Kerwin Brown, and he was my head chef and friend. And more than head chef and friend, I think I would call him my mentor, informal mentor. And basically, he and I, we would joke around, laugh around. We really had a similar sense of humor. He was a black guy as well. Came from a middle to upper middle class family. And he knew all about money and the idea of time and money and so on and so forth. So it was a really sort of coming of age job for me, where I learned more about life at King Eddie's than I did about cooking. Although I did learn a huge amount about cooking because he's got a Michelin-starred background and has worked with the likes of Gordon Ramsay, and what's the other guy's name? I've forgotten his name now. Can't remember. Anyway, like the elite chefs that you see on TV, namely Gordon Ramsay. I'm sure most people worldwide have heard of him because I know he's gone many years ago. He conquered stateside as well. So the whole world of chefing was something that's always been fascinating to me. My 3 main passions are cooking, dancing, and now trading. Cooking and dancing, I caught the bug for those when I was 17 and 18 years old in 97 and 98 respectively, and then trading was 2006 when I was 26, because I'm now 36 going on 37. So that was that. So eventually the main thing I got from Kerwin was, don't exchange your time for money, or at least do that in the beginning, a la rich dad poor dad, but then use your money to work for you to make more money. So I went off with that idea. He was doing real estate. I was a 26-year-old guy in London with a bit of money, but not enough to get into real estate. So I knocked that around in my head for several months. This is like February, March, April 2006. And then I read the paper and I saw Win Investing. And I went to this Win Investing course on the 11th of August 2006, which just happened to be the first day of the course was my 26th birthday. So yeah, the course was called Win Investing, and I learned the basics, head and shoulders. I've still got all the paperwork right next to me here. It's traveled with me all around. I've moved several times since 2006, and even moved country, and it's always come with me. I remember getting my sister to laminate the spreadsheets, and not the spreadsheets, the sort of paper worksheets that they gave us in the book and stuff like that. And so it was an exciting time, Anyone who's got into trading, they all remember their first few months and maybe a year or so as a very exciting time. And I look back on that period of time fondly. So I did win investing, learned about head and shoulders, breakouts, channel, stochastics, all the basic stuff, and got into paper trading. So now we move on to paper trading and the tube. Tube meaning the metro in London. I paper traded for about 4 months, from August to December-ish, 2006. I begrudgingly left King Eddie's and Kerwin behind and changed jobs to go to the agency because I knew that the agency would allow me to work days. And as a chef, anywhere, not particularly in London. In other parts of the world, it's impossible, but in London, it's difficult to not have to commit to trading evenings because that's when people go out to restaurants. So the agency meant more flexibility because they could place me in sort of canteens and stuff, office canteens and office jobs where corporate jobs where you would be doing lunches rather than dinners. So that's why I changed jobs, and that meant I could get back for the US Open, because if you're finishing 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon in London, that's 9-10 o'clock in Eastern Standard. So that was my move. I read feverishly day and night, and then eventually started to look into my track, which had terrible, terrible commissions. That was my first brokerage firm. The round trip commission was $32 per trade, not $2 as you'd expect now, $1, whatever it may be for stocks. And as I've just said, it was only stocks at this point. So January 2007, live trading begins after 4 months of paper trading. I had a new job at the Institute of Physics, which was a day job because I was working, with the scientists there and providing lunch and all the research. You can do a quick Google search for yourself, the Institute of Physics, Great Portland Street. Great job. And I was really doing well in my career as a chef, and it was a shame I had to leave, but we'll get to that later. And after 6 months of day trading, swing trading, sorry, I ended up with $200. Now that's not a lot, you may say, after 6 months, but this is with huge commissions. And I calculated that, the number of turns I took to make that 200, if I had lower commissions, I'd have made the equivalent of $1,500 rather than $200, which for the size of the account that I had would have meant a significant percentage gain in those 6 months. So that's why I moved to Interactive Brokers, which I guess the majority of you will know. So started making 3 to 5% after that move per month with my 6K account because of the lower commissions. So it got to the point where I left my job. So remember, I left my first job to move to the agency so that I could free up the US Open. And now I'm leaving my day job completely to try and trade for a living in 2007 after a year of trading. And I've said leaving my job and the loan. Eek. Yes, I took out a loan, a £20,000, not dollar. At the time, that was $40,000. Took out a $40,000 loan in August 2007. I had the money to do so. I was doing well as a chef, and I figured if all went to shit, excuse my French, I would go and pay back the loan out of my wages because I had enough to cover rent and I had some disposable income, even for London standards, because I was fairly well paid. So armed with this greater than $40,000 account, because remember I had my 6K that I originally saved up from my job, so I had about a $46,000 account. I started day trading as well as swing trading, still just stocks at this point. And now I should mention that my day trading was going nowhere fast. I would lose like $200 a month or something, taking multiple round trips. And it was my swing trading that still brought in the bacon. In September, I made $1.8 thousand real live cash in September. This is the first month after I left my office job, my chefing office job. And then in October, I made $400. And this is after suffering, this was the pivotal moment, suffering my first 8-trade losing streak. And that really jarred me big time. Missed out on the huge runs in the China stocks bubble. Don't know if any of you were around back then. I know a few of you might be like Dave and stuff, but for the most part, I'm guessing a lot of the traders around today didn't see that. But I was around for the 2007, late 2007 China stock bubble, and did silly things such as missing out on $800 overnight in a swing trade for the sake of $19. That one sticks with me to this day. And due to being jarred by all of this, I went on the search for the Holy Grail, which otherwise known as security. So I flew down to Florida to get mentorship with Tony Hansen, came back armed with new knowledge, and couldn't trade a damn thing after that for a solid year. Now, admittedly, I had the massive change of moving to Italy in the middle because I went to see Tony Hansen, who's a great technical analyst. She says she's a trader, but I have to say she was supposed to trade live with me and her internet was conveniently broken then, so that was a bit of a knock. And I had paid $900 per day mentorship, and I spent 3 days down in Florida, $2,700. I came back with all this knowledge. She did show me live trades as they unfolded, and so I thought, great, this is amazing. But I couldn't put it into action, and I spent the next year, most of 2008, flailing around, much like I'm doing these last 2 months in my current trading. And as I said, I moved to Italy with my partner. We didn't have our children at that point, but that was a big upheaval for me, moving from London to Italy and its massive cultural change. That was 2008. Then I thought that I maybe had found my groove because I started trading futures rather than stocks in November 2008 and started bringing in, for a few consecutive months, sort of 3 months, I brought in around $700, again live gains on my ever diminishing account, because remember, now I'm paying back the loan from the account because I had left my job. And obviously when I went to Italy, I didn't just land in a job. I really struggled to find my feet for a good 2 years. So those $700 went towards the loan payment. Then I left my job in Italy, the one I had found at the end of 2008. So I did struggle for the first 2 years, but I had the opportunity to work as a chef. But let's just say the experience in an Italian kitchen as a British chef left much to be desired, culture-wise, and the way they treated me. So I left my job, and you guessed it, trading fell apart. So what's going on here? So 2009 to 2013, multiple good periods followed by crashes, all day trading rather than swing trade, because now I couldn't afford to swing trade because I was in Italy and I was repaying the loan payments with the actual loan, meaning I was going to be left behind with a hefty interest payment. Finally realized that it was an emotional, psychological issue and started mechanizing approaches and thinking long term. The results started improving, but I refused to go to cash until certain milestones were met. Then I moved over to Top Step Trader. This is late 2013. I've attempted my first combine in mid 2014, which was a huge failure, I guess. First few attempts were nervous and rushed. Finally settled in for the long term and passed in 2016 after 16 attempts and about 2 years, admittedly not consistent combines over the 2 years, but a year of that was consistent combines, totaling 16 in total over the 2-year period. massive personal problems in recent years, like cultural problems, the racism in Italy, and all that goes along with it, with family and mental health problems in recent years, and personal relationship problems, both in my personal relationship and those with other people apart from my partner. So what have I learned? My trading today and the future. The incident with my friend and the account, which I'll link at the end of the video, together with life circumstances, has thrown me off track in recent months. But if you skip these last few months that I've documented on YouTube, last 2-3 months, what I've learned is simplify the strategy. Don't try to outsmart the market. Don't try to win on every trade. Try to do something you can replicate over and over again that brings in profit over time. Stay as long term as possible. And now I know you can't do this in Top Step Trader, but ideally swing trade if possible. But if not, stay really big, 5-minute chart. Stay as big as you can in general. Do not associate your P&L. Okay, I've jumped a whole bunch of things that I was supposed to do that bit by bit, but do not associate your P&L with your self-worth, something I haven't been good at in the last 2 months. Let pressure and time, i.e. the Shawshank Redemption, don't know if you remember that scene with Andy Dufresne, and he used the spoon to tunnel out of Shawshank prison in just under 20 years. He used a little, not a spoon, a little rock hammer, and it took him 19 plus years to tunnel out through the wall. So persistent action, like pressure and time to accomplish. Don't try and get things done today. Apply a little pressure consistently over time and let the time do the heavy lifting. Ignore the way it happens and just make it happen. So if you get stopped to the tick, it doesn't matter. If you get stopped, if you miss target by a tick, it doesn't matter. What happens to your account over the long term, not today and not even this week. I also learned there is no magic system. You are the system, meaning your ability to circumnavigate your cognitive biases is what's going to set you apart from other traders and make you a winner. You do need a statistically proven approach, but that's sort of 10% of the puzzle, in my opinion. Look after your life outside of trading. This is big, huge, and it could make me cry if I let myself, because of what's happened in my life and the lesson I've learned. Look after yourself outside of trading. Look after your life and the people in it. Remember why you started in the first place. And so to finish, I've got this, which is, this still stands today. These were my trading goals, and this is my mom, my partner, and my 2 kids here. And this is what I wrote when I was 26. Now the monthly return is ridiculous, I know, but they said to aim high, keep refining your technique, make profits first with paper then real money. But my why has remained the same. I wanted to have more time to be artistic, dance, create, learn new dishes, develop energy to think and grow, see friends and family, and live instead of earning a living, exercising my right to live. Wanted financial freedom to help those close to me, namely my mother. Invest in education, invest in assets, and travel. That's big for me. And so I'll leave you with those goals there and this picture of my family, because ultimately what I've learned from trading is do not neglect your life while you're trying to achieve the almost impossible, which is financial freedom via trading. It's akin to trying to be Andre Agassi in tennis. It's not going to happen for the majority of people. So if you're gonna give it a shot, remember to keep your life going. Remember to do things, see your kids, spend time with your family, because time doesn't wait around for anyone. And that's my biggest lesson from trading. So that's all I've got for you now, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.